everyday kind of, oh, do this, do that. You should have done that. Questioning every decision you're making. If we have a disagreement, it is between me and you. To make a decision, instead of consulting you first, oh, mom, I want to do this and this and this. And then you as a wife, you're left to compromise.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Mother from Mamas. So, today we're here to talk about meddling in laws. If you have dated, even for a second, I know you know what I'm talking about. So, Sarah, how much is too much involvement from the in-laws in a relationship?
It's everyday kind of an involvement. It's everyday kind of, oh, do this, do that. You should have done that. Questioning every decision you're making. Once you raise your children, you're hoping on or expecting that you've done the best that you could. And hoping that they're going to make the right decision. And the right decision in choosing a partner in their, whoever they want to spend their life with, right? And you leave it at that.
I've been in a relationship where this person was very close to the mom and had to talk to the mom every day. Now listen, that's a cup of tea.
And for you, I don't know, maybe it's a blessing. You've had two mother-in-laws. So.
That is not a blessing. Sorry, Jesus. No, I mean, you know what though? I think having two makes me uniquely prepared. I like to say the first one was my practice mother-in-law, and this one is my mother-in-law.
Yes.
You call her that. But it's definitely an experience because just like as girlfriends or just friends, just how people have different personalities, so do these mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, sister-in-laws. Everybody has a different personality. So you get to learn and see a lot. My problem is, like I was saying before, I don't mind a parent who speaks to their child every day. If that's the relationship you guys have at it. I have a problem with a person who is speaking about our relationship to their parents every day. Now, honey, that's not how I'm built. Okay.
If we have a disagreement, it is between me and you. It's not between you. It's not between me and your people.
Exactly.
And you'll have many. Once you get married, trust me, I mean, don't run. Every time I have a disagreement with my husband, oh, my sister, he's done this and this. Because then that will create some kind of a negative vibe towards my husband.
Yes.
And we'll have good days and bad days.
Yeah. And you're not always going to remember to come and say, oh, imagine today he wrote me this cute note or sent me this cute text. You won't remember that. But so you've told them so much negative stuff about your person. And then you wonder why, when you guys are sitting for this and the other, they're looking at him with bad eyes. Sis, you've told them this dude does this, you found this text, or he wasn't doing this. So what do you expect? People need to protect the boundaries, the sacredness of relationships. Now, I'm not saying suffer in silence when things are going wrong. Seek advice for, by all means. But I just think you need to monitor what you say, what you put out there. Because I strongly believe in protecting the heart of the person you love.
Yeah, and I like what you said about seeking advice, because we have done that with my mom-in-law, and I love her, but she has had those experiences. We would want to ask her, how did you overcome this? How did you overcome this and this? And she always made me feel like we are playing on a same level ground. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like she's not taking sides. And when it comes to those obstacles that, I want to listen to Sarah, I want to listen to your husband, what it is that they have to say. And then I can give you advice, and it's up to you guys if you want to take it or not.
Oh, you have a banging mother-in-law. Okay, shout out to
hi, Mama.
That's very wise because it's pretty hard, one, to just speak to a person who's not your birth mother, for example, right? And then it's very hard even as a birth mother to advise without seeking your child first. So I applaud her for being able to put you both there, point out to both of you what is wrong and explain to you this is how I will go about it, and then let you choose. Because there's people who get upset if you don't follow the advice. I mean, I asked you, I didn't mean I was going to take it and run with it. But back to the other type of mother-in-law, okay?
Yeah.
My question is, how do you deal with the kind of person who always wants to compare what you do? So now we have children. How do you deal with the mother who wants to compare what you do with what she did, right? And I'm sorry to keep saying mother-in-law. Father-in-laws, from my experience, mother-in-laws are usually like, they're quiet. They carry their kids, they put them down, they put the dollar in their pocket, and they're like, all right, time up.
And V, it's not a competition though.
Right. It's really not.
It's not a competition, and I am not who you are. The way I choose to raise my kids has nothing to do with how you raise yours.
Yes. Yes, and even if it was a competition, honey, we'd be on the same side. We're rooting for the same thing. We're rooting for success for our children. So I don't understand that. Well, you're giving Sarah like me. I used to prefer to give Weetabix. Okay, but honey, you know this is what's going on now, and I truly appreciate every gem of advice that people want to give. But again, give it and let people take it with a grain of salt. Let me take your advice and pick and choose what works for me. Thank you for telling me that you took your son to soccer practice. My son prefers rugby, and that's just what it is. That's just that about that, honey.
Thank you.
So now you have kids and you send them to grandma and grandpa's house and they're visiting, or grandma is over visiting and all that. How my big thing is usually this little.
First of all, she calling you to let you know that she's coming?
She better. In this household, we do, honey. Thank you very much. I would expect him to. I'm not gonna pop up even my mom's house. I'm not just gonna pop up without calling and say, "Mom, I'm coming." So I would hope that my mom would call. I would hope my husband's mom would call. It's just it's a level of respect, because as much as we love you and we adore you and we're family, we're also working on this little family unit of ours. And so it just. And my parents are very gracious with that, and I love them for that. But what I was asking was when grandparents are now involved and they're having your kids for an amount of time and you're not there, how do you feel about them maybe giving them ideals that may not be like yours? So I'm going to use an example. The ex was a Rastafarian, okay? His father chose to be a Rastafarian, although the father's parents were Christian. So they felt certain things were okay to eat, but his father, having switched, felt they were not. And I remember him telling me that every time he would visit his grandparents, they would try to get him to eat meat. But his father had decided to raise his family in a way where they did not eat meat. So how do you combat that?
I don't know how you can control that, because, once you because you also want your children to have this kind of a relationship with their grandparents.
Yes, of course.
And so they should know how you raise your children. I would expect them to respect your decision.
Yeah.
I would expect them to know that, oh, my son's children, they don't do this and this and this. And so when they come to my household, they shouldn't do this and this and this.
Yeah, you would hope, but not everybody does it. But again, I guess that would go back to, guys, our toxic relationships video. If you haven't watched it, only on YouTube, More Afro Mamas. But that would bring it to that, because it does end up creating toxicity. And now I don't feel safe leaving my children with you because you're no longer following my path of raising them.
I sent you a video of, a girl, she went to the store, and when she came back, the mom-in-law was sitting on the
front seat with the guy. That was interesting. That was interesting to me. I mean, what did you think about that video? Let me let you say first.
I feel like the two of them were out of line.
Yes.
First of all, the mom-in-law had an attitude towards the wife.
Yeah. Yes.
And listen, I've had my mom-in-law come into visit us, and she had to make sure that, Sarah, are you okay with me sitting in the front? You see, that makes you feel like, oh my God, she respects me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But don't come sit in the front and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm sitting in the front. There's nothing you're gonna do about it.
I mean, I kind of see it because my mom too, like, I'm always like, Mom, take the front seat. And she's like, no. Even my dad, I would like, take the front seat. He's like, no. But I let them, or I will almost force it. Unless it's both of them, then I know they'll want to sit together. But
CV,
but
what's
wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But it is the way you address it. It's the way. Don't make me go to the store and then I come back and you're seated there and you have it giving me an attitude.
But here's my other question: was it that serious?
Yes, it is that serious. It is that serious, because don't look at it as, oh, sure, so she sat at the front seat, so what's the big deal? But it comes to everything that your husband does, though.
True.
So that if he wants to make a decision, instead of consulting you first, oh, Mom, I want to do this and this and this, and then you as a wife, you're left to compromise.
So, but okay, and I see both points, and I really like this conversation. But so, what do you think if you were that wife? Because me personally, I think I would have been irritated, but I think I would have gone, sat in the back, and then when me and husband got home, I would have told him, listen, honey, that's not going to work.
Listen, girl, me? No.
Yes, what would you have done?
Like, Ma, that was my seat. This is my husband's car. Or this is my car.
I'm going to say it for my car. Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I hear
see,
you. I just didn't. But you're right. I didn't like how my mom was going back and forth with her. Like, we're not age mates. You're my mother. I've always thought you marry the man, you marry the family. So you're my mother. I respect you. I don't want to go back and forth with you.
but that goes back. That goes back to our first point, saying, if I have any problem with you family, I want you to deal with it.
Yes, I agree. The spouse should deal with
So
it.
that
I'm
we are
not
not
gonna
going
go
to have
to his
this.
family. Yes. No, I understand. I understand.
You see?
I understand. I feel like, and when I first watched it, I was like, oh shit, in my head, I'm like, what a disrespectful girl. But I just kept thinking, for her to get to that point, this has been done over and over in so many different ways. And I felt, to me, the man was kind of weak because he was just like, oh, but it's my mom. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, well, then maybe that's the person you should take home with you because it ain't gonna be me.
And don't call me babe, babe, babe. It's not gonna solve anything. Don't babe me. It's not. It's. Oh.
But I hear you. I hear you. No, it's true. It's true. Boundaries have to be there from both sides of the family. And I'm not saying let's have a stiff house. I'm just saying, listen, when you come to my house, that's my kitchen. Because you know me and my kitchen, honey. Don't touch nothing.
and the thing though that I like is that I am away from Kenya.
Hallelujah. There go the diaspora points again. Ding, ding, ding. No, but you know what? You're away from diaspora. So for me, who's here?
Yes.
My mother-in-law is Jamaican, and she's here. She's here. But I will say, both my mother-in-laws are Jamaican.
They were. So listen, you have to tell us
Actually,
about
no. Let me tell you what I just realized. My first mother-in-law was not Jamaican. I'm mistaken. She was American, but she got so assimilated into her husband's culture.
Oh.
You think she's Jamaican, and maybe that's the difference. Because with her, those boundaries were blurred. And in some ways it was good because she was so comfortable with me and I was so comfortable with her. But when it came to some decisions, it was a problem. My mother-in-law now, I mean, she treats me like another woman. She doesn't treat me like I'm her kid sitting around, but we were blurry with our boundaries, which sometimes was a good thing, sometimes not so much. Okay. There was places where it was a good thing, where we were cool, me and mine. But then there's times where you're like, no, we're not that cool, man. Like, chill. But my mother-in-law now is very respectful. She keeps a respectful distance. Positive blurring for me was there's times she literally treated me like her daughter. Literally treated me like her daughter. It felt good at the time because no matter what, there's still. So, for example, as much as your mother-in-law loves you, there's still a little. You're not her biological child, right? So there's some things that are still a little bit of she'll watch her steps. With this particular individual, the blurring came in like I was so much of her daughter. We could talk about anything and do everything and anything, but it would come to a point where sometimes she would forget I'm not really her kid. Like where you have to stop yourself from saying this or saying that or watch what you say because I'm still not really a kid.
Yeah.
So it had those effects. My mother-in-law now has, like I said, she has her boundaries, she has her steps, she knows where to step and where not to. She wants to talk to her grandkids, she'll call, she'll whatever. But she'll ask you, is he available now? Can I call now? Can I visit? It's not just pop, I'm here. My previous mother-in-law was, I'm at the door. Hey, what y'all doing? We were trying to make a baby, but come on in. I'm just saying. That's the blurring now, where she got so comfortable, which was cute, but she got too comfortable. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, let's keep those boundaries up, people. That's always keep them up from the beginning, so you never have to backtrack. Listen, guys, in conclusion to our video, okay? Mm-hmm. Make sure you find balance in your relationship, whether it's a marriage, a come we stay, or whatever. You have to have balance. Have to have balance. The second thing that's Sarah says, and I agree with this, set boundaries. Mm-hmm. Set boundaries everywhere, set boundaries all the time. Don't set boundaries sometimes. Stick to them all the time. And make sure you and your spouse are on the same page. I mean, it's the key to making everything work. Okay? Thank you so much for joining us. It's the More That from Mamas and